One of the worst places that you could ever hope to build a city was Kansas City, Missouri in the 1800s. Just like the state of Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri was also at the bottom of a vast ocean, except 250 million years earlier during the Carboniferous. Kansas City was home to all sorts of Carboniferous life, like trilobites, crinoids, and the absolute goat Tychodonus. All of the dead sea life that slowly accumulated on the floor of that primordial ocean laid down layer upon layer of the limestone that is Kansas City's bedrock today. Limestone is by no means a robust stone. The wall that you see behind me is obviously crumbling, and the ground here is littered with countless shards of debris that have already fallen off over the millions of years of erosion that these pieces of rock have underwent. Downtown Kansas City today sits atop a plateau that rises 150 feet above the Missouri River to its north. Back in the 1800s, that plateau wasn't flat. It itself had plateaus and bluffs up to 45 feet on top of it. Massive outcroppings of rock, like the one that you see behind and above me, were the norm for Kansas City long before settlers arrived and for decades after. City planning in such an environment was basically a non-starter. Roads had to snake around, and buildings and homes were built on top of these bluffs. As you could probably imagine, living among the bluffs, canyons, and gorges of Kansas City wasn't just inconvenient, it was dangerous, with numerous residents over the years falling to their deaths off of the bluffs and into the ravines. However, because the Missouri River was such a vitally important trade and travel route, a city somewhere around here was basically inevitable, and there was really no better place than what had become the town of Kansas, because it is where the mighty Missouri met the town's namesake, the Kansas River. For the town of Kansas to ever hope to grow into a Kansas City, the Bluffs had to go. Their organized demolition began in earnest in the 1850s, but this task was absolutely monumental, and it took decades to complete. The work was done mostly by Irish immigrants who came to Kansas City specifically to work on the project, and they weren't armed with mechanical equipment, they did it by hand with shovels and picks. If you're interested in even more of the fascinating history about Kansas City's bluffs and their epic removal process, I recommend you listen to A People's History of Kansas City, a podcast by Kansas City's own NPR station, KCUR, which in their latest episode covers just that.